boys and girls. We're going to continue with literature. Before we start into chapter 5, we're going to do a little bit of learning about literary style using examples from chapters 1 through 4. So find this page, literature number 11, and let's get started. Let's read what the paper says. Each author has their own literary style. We have defined style as the author's own special way of storytelling, using simile, metaphor, personification, etc. Authors use many of these literary techniques to make their writing more interesting. We are going to learn what each one is and then find examples of them in Blue Willow. The first one, alliteration. The repeating of the same sound at the beginning of every word, of several words rather, that are close together in a sentence. Example, sweet birds sang in the stillness. So the S's are repeated. Or while waiting, he wondered where they were. Lots of W's in there. It's just a fun way to write it, and it kind of rolls off your tongue when you read it. Next one, personification. Giving human characteristics to something non-human. Example, lightning danced across the sky. Or the desks waited patiently for the students to return. Look at them. Look at them. They're waiting so patiently for you to come back. They're not even wiggling. They're just standing there waiting. Kind of silly, huh? Desks don't have to be patient or wait. They just are. But it makes for interesting storytelling. A simile is the next one. Simile means comparing things with like or as in the sentence. Example, she sings like an angel, or happy as a kid in a candy store. That's an old one. People used to say that a lot. Metaphor, comparing two things directly, not using like or as. Example, his eyes were ice. He's really mad and his eyes look like ice. Or she was a tornado of anger. Not she was like a tornado, but she was a tornado. Biblical allusion. Now this is not illusion like an imaginary picture. Allusion means to allude to something or refer to something kind of indirectly. Like if I were to allude to saying, we won't do this like some people I know who always forget to dot their I's and cross their T's. I'm not saying who it is, but I'm alluding to that person. And you know who you are. And I'm not trying to be mean to you. It just was the idea that came to me. So alluding to something means referring to something indirectly. When the author alludes to or refers to something well known in the Bible that helps describe or explain something. Example, this place is like the Garden of Eden, meaning it's beautiful and unspoiled. And the last one, foreshadowing. When the author gives clues or hints about what is to come in the story. Example, he somehow knew that this man held the key to his future. He did? What did he know? How did he know it? We don't know yet. But that's what what foreshadowing is in a story. And later on, at the end of the book, you're going to look back and go, oh, and now I know what they were talking about. Sometimes if you watch a movie 2 or 3 times, you'll start to catch little comments like that, little foreshadowing things that you don't really know exactly what they mean until you get to the end. And then you realize way back there, they were suggesting that he was the guy that stole the money out of the bank or whatever the story's about. So on the lines below, you're going to write the quotes you find for each of the literary styles. The page numbers that are like this, 9-10, means that the quote starts at the bottom of the first page number and goes over to the top of the next. So you've got some similes, you've got some metaphors, you've got some personifications. The first one's also an alliteration. That's fun. You've got a few alliterations, 2 biblical allusions, and 3 foreshadowings. I gave you a little more detail on the foreshadowings. The first one's on page 29. The next one is the last line of page 66 over to the top of 67, stop in the middle of the page. So you're going to start at the bottom of 66 and read halfway down 67. And the last one is the last paragraph on 68 all the way to the end of 69. You don't have to quote the whole thing. Just tell me what's the foreshadowing of? On the other ones, give me your little quote. Or if you can find a little quote in the foreshadowing that catches the main idea, you can do that. All right, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye.